Hey there. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. It's another Friday. It's the Friday eve of Tableau conference. So next week we will be live. Workout Wednesday will be live from Tableau conference. We're very excited to be able to have the opportunity to do a live session there. Should be a good time. So if you're coming to Vegas next week, definitely come check us out on Wednesday. I think it's at 2 p.m. local time, and it's going to be a great time. If you're not able to make it to Vegas next week, don't worry. We'll still be releasing the challenge on Wednesday. You will have to wait a little bit in order, because we're not going to release it before the challenge, before the session. So just take it a little. Just, little yawn there. Just take it easy. Give us a little bit, and we'll get it out there as soon as we can. But it should be a good challenge, and it'll be fun. So, but let's talk about today. So today we are doing week 18, combining relative and custom date filters in a dashboard in Tableau. This is very exciting because it is a redo, a remix of a challenge that I made way back when in 2020. This was pre-pandemic, so this is a good long while ago. And let's see. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. So we've got this. You can't see my desktop because OBS tries to, and then we get that, and that's not right. There we go. Now we're good. Okay. So what we are going to do is, so this is the original challenge back in 2020, and if we go to the workbook, you're going to see that what we have is we have a radio button list of different date filter options, right? So we have the last 14 days, the last 30 days, the last N number of days, and so you have this little pop-up box that opens that will change that. Or you can do custom dates, right? So we have the relative dates, and then we have these custom dates. And you can see here that whenever I select on a radio button, those boxes go away, right? They don't appear. You don't have the input boxes to confuse the end user, right? Because I can just envision, I can see it, I can hear it happening. You give a dashboard that has end days here or custom dates here, and they input anything, but they're still selected on the last 30 days and nothing changes, and then they get upset, and you have to figure out a way around it. So this is what that did. It created it used quite a bit of workarounds and blanks and dummy sheets and all that kind of stuff. But thankfully, now that we are 3 years past this challenge, we've had several updates in Tableau Desktop that will allow us to do this much easier. So that's what we're going to take a look at. So this is the new one. No, that's the old post. This is the new one. So let's take a look at this guy. And what we can see here is, again, we have last 30, the last N, which again pops that up, the last custom, and then we have custom dates, which pop up there. That should be good. I feel like we should be able to work with this pretty easily. So let's take a gander. Let's have some fun, and here we go. So open up your Tableau and connect to Superstore data. We know that we're going to be looking at everything. The first thing we need to do is we need to do a date filter. We're going to do a data source filter on order date. And what we're going to do is we're just going to exclude range of dates. We're going to do range of dates greater than today. Ending date, right? So we want everything to be less than today. Includes dates on or before today. And that's exactly what we want to do. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll just we'll show sales, and we'll do it by month, or no, we'll do it by, let's do it by week. Or does he say? Kyle might have told us what to do. Dashboard 3 sheets, filter 2 day, and yep, we're gonna do day. Oop, not date part day, but continuous day. All right, so let's build these. Let's build these out here, right? So the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna figure out what the 30 days. So this is gonna be last 30, and this is gonna be order date is greater than or equal to date add day -30, because we're going to go back in time, right? We want these to be greater than 30 days ago, right? Because we want the last 30 days to be shown. And we want that based off of our order date. Click OK. So this is the last 30. True. Oh, no. So what we actually want is, so I messed that up just a bit, but that's what happens. We need to figure out what the max order date is, right? So 30 days from what? The max order date. There we go. There we go. That looks nice. Make this an area chart. That looks good. Now what? What are we gonna do now? So now what we're gonna do is let's go look at the let's go look at this again. Okay, so we have the last 30 days, then we have a last custom. All right, so that's gonna be a parameter. And it's gonna be an integer. And we're going to call it last n days. We're going to default it to 60. And then we're going to create calculate another date field. And that's going to be, this is going to be the custom n. And that's going to be order date greater than equal to date add and then it's going to be at the day level. The integer is going to be the last n days, and the order date is going to be the max order date click OK. And then what we can do here is we can do so we'll do calculated field. We need to, so now I'll remove this guy and I'll bring back our custom in, and oh yeah, I didn't do the right thing, right? Because I didn't put the negative number. So negative n. There we go. Now when we draw custom in there, we get true. And so there's the last 60. We can show our parameter here to confirm that our logic is working. And we'll do 120. It should get bigger. We'll do 45 and it should get smaller. Perfect. We'll default it to 60. Next thing is we need to do the custom dates. So we need to create a calculated field. Or no, we need to create a parameter. And we're going to do the end date. It's a date field. Current value is today because that's the end of the date. And then we'll do create another parameter. This is start date. It's a date. And we'll do custom value. Current value is, oh, I don't know. What should it be? January 1, 2023. There we go. Then we'll create another calculated field, and this will be our custom dates, our custom date range. And that's going to be order date is greater than, equal to, the end date, and order date less than, equal to, the start date. Now when I drop this off, and I drop custom range, what happened here? Custom range. Let's look at this again. Greater than, see, I did that again. I did that wrong. Greater than the start date, less than the end date. Yeah, that's right. Now, see, whenever we drop this on, now we get a true false. We go there, and you can see here everything is January 1st through the rest of the year, or through today's date. And I could go here. Let's do a little bit of let's do this. We want to do a range. We want the maximum to be what? Today, right? We want order date. There you go. So we want that, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do show the parameter. Make it a type in. There we go. Make it a, and that, but now if I go to 512, yeah, it won't let, see how it won't let me select anything less, greater than today's date, or whatever it is, right? I can't select anything. It says, no thanks, can't do that. And you're like, okay. But then if I go to 5.4, it lets me do that, right? So that's pretty cool. You could make this dynamic so that, you know, we could go to the end date. And you saw what I did when I was doing that. I said from a fixed level, but I could do when workbook opens, and I could do based on order date. So every single time the workbook is opened, it's going to run through the order date field and put in the min and max of those. So that'll be your default date range. It's really handy when you've got new data coming in, which is all the time. But because we set the date filter to be, I don't want anything more than today, right? That's why that's how this is working. So that's cool. All right. And so now we've got three custom, right? We've got last 30, we've got last 30, we've got last n, and we have a custom date range. So how do we bring all of those together? Because as you saw, I had to take one off and then I had to bring one on, right? So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to create another parameter, and we're going to do which filter, and we're going to do a list 1, 2, 3. The first one is last 30 days. The second one is last n days. And the third one is custom date, custom range. Click OK. Now what I need to do is I need to bring in a secondary data source. So let's open up our favorite other tool, and that's Microsoft Excel, right? We use that all the time, and that's okay. Click open. Nope, not open. New. So we get a new workbook. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call this value, and I'm going to call this label. Right? So I've got two columns. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to call this last 30 days. I'm going to call this last n days, and I'm going to call this custom range. And I'm going to save that. Yeah, downloads is fine. We'll call this custom range. There we go. Close that. Add a new data source. Microsoft Excel is our downloads. Yes, custom range. Sheet 1, go to sheet 2. And I'm going to make this, I'm going to make all of that. I'm going to put value on detail. I'm going to put label on here. Make this that. Last n. We're going to do a little rearranging here to get it to where we want. I'm also going to put label on text. I'm going to change our mark type to a shape. And then I'm going to create a calculated field that says selected range, and it's just going to be the which filter equals value. All right, so remember I set up that as a as an integer parameter. I had values 1, 2, and 3. Labels here, right? So if you're newer to Tableau or you're just starting out, this value column, when you create a list parameter, this value is what Tableau sees in the background. This display as is what your end users see. And so in my data source, in my secondary data source, I put value as a column. So it's either 1, 2, or 3, which matches to value. So I created that, which value equals value. I'm going to take that selected range Boolean calculation, drop it on shape, and now you can see if I do fit width, you can see that I've got let's do min of 1 or min 0.0. There we go. All right, so you can see I have a different shape for true and false, right? So I can go here now. My falses are going to be open circles. My true is going to be a closed circle. And that makes sense, right? That makes sense. And then maybe we'll also do, maybe we'll make the color of these kind of a nice blue. We'll make the labels match the mark color. Something like that. If we wanted to, we could put selected range on color. Right? And so you'd have different colors based on what's selected as well as the filled circle, right? I don't think I necessarily want to do that. We'll do a little bit of cleanup here on our formatting, get rid of all of our dividers. We'll get rid of all of our grid lines and zero lines and all that kind of fun stuff. We'll get rid of everything. Don't need axis rulers, don't need axis ticks. We will hide our header. We will hide our axis, hide our labels, hide our header. So here we have just that, right? And that looks just fine. Next thing, one thing we need to do is we need to create an additional calculation. We need to call it highlight, and it's just going to be that, and we're going to drop that on detail. We're going to do that because if I select that, it's going to dither out all of the others, right? And that's not what I want. I just want it to fill the circle, right? Like a radio button would. So that's how we this highlight field is going to help us do that. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to do something, and so now we've created a way to bring our parameter into the workbook, right? So parameters live outside the workbook until you create a calculated field to bring them into the workbook. So this selected range is what we're using to bring that parameter value into our workbook. So I'm going to go back over here to this data source, and I'm going to create a new calculated field. And this is what we're going to use to combine all of our date options together. So this is going to be the date filter. It's going to be case on which filter. When it's 1, then the last 30 Boolean. When it's 2, then give me the last n. Last n. Custom n is what we called it, right? We called it the custom n. And then whenever it's 3, it's going to be the custom date range. All of those are Boolean calculations. So we'll get a true false, a true false, a true false, and we only ever want the true option in any of those. So whenever we drag this calculation into the filters, we're just going to select the true option. And now what we can do is which filter, we can actually show this, and we can do last custom, right? And you can start to see how this is coming together, right? Last thing I'm going to do before we go any further is I'm going to create 3 additional calculated fields, and it's basically going to be filter 1 is which filter equal 1. Duplicate. Nope, don't need that. Equal 2. Filter 2. Click OK. Edit. It's going to be filter 3. There we go. All right. We'll come back to those in a little bit. Okay, next thing. Oh, we wanted to do some, let's see, do we have the ability, if we go look at this, do we have the ability to change the metric? Yeah, we are changing the metric. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll do that too. So we'll do create. This is going to be measure names and measure values. Measure names. Nope. Measure values here. Measure names. We just want sales profit orders. Take measure names, drop it there. Change that to this. Oh, is that average? Okay. Oh, that's that. Okay, so let's see. The average profit, is that the average order profit? Probably. So we need to do average sales, and we're going to do, or what is it? What are the measures here? Okay. Yeah. I'm just going to do that because it's total sales, total profit, total number of orders, which makes sense to me, right? Okay. Now, oh, we're going to drop measure names on color. And whoop, sales profit, whoop, edit our alias. There we go. Gold, blue, purple. Okay. Gold, blue, purple. Bring these up just a bit. Make them 15. Medium. There we go. I'll do discount, profit, and sales as default properties. Number format. They are currency with no zeros. There we go. Okay. Ba, ba, ba. And we've got measure names also here. But now we need to do this. We need to rearrange a few things. Measure names. Measure names is going to be much smaller. And everything's going to be, maybe we'll do, yeah, that looks good. Okay. Okay. And let's see, make this centered. There we go. Remove our header. Do some formatting to remove our borders. Here we go. All right. Sheet 1, sheet. This is the chart. Oh, so then what we need to do is we need to create a parameter. It's just going to be a string value. And the current is going to be sales. This is going to be the metric. And we'll create another calculation to do the metric value. Going to be a case again. Case of metric parameter when sales, then sales. And that's going to be sum. We're going to aggregate everything. When profit, then sum profit. When orders, then orders. Count the number of orders. So that's good. Then we're just going to drop this metric value onto columns. And oh, not there. We're going to drop it here. There we go. And we're also going to do drop measure names. What are we going to do here? Metric name on. No, not there. We need to duplicate this metric value. And we need to edit this. And it's going to be the metric color. And what we can do is we can just do 1, 2, 3. Metric color, but we're going to change that to a dimension. Now we can drop that on color. So whenever it's 1, we want it to be this orange color. Duplicate, or not duplicate, show. Sales profit. 2 is the blue color. Orders is the purple color. And And so now whenever I go back to sales, do that. This is also going to need a highlight because we don't want, because again, we want to not show the dither, right? We want to show, we don't want to show the selection because the color of the line chart is going to change colors based on the color of the KPI, right? So we don't want that. We don't want that, the blue square of awkwardness, right? That's what I'm calling it. We don't want that. So we'll figure that out whenever we get that. We'll do all that whenever we get to the dashboard. Okay. So let's see. Do I need to, let's bump these up a little bit. Maybe 14. Of course that. There we go. And we'll bump up the size of our shapes. There we go. All right. I think we're ready to make a dashboard now. It's strange. Fixed size, automatic, fixed, custom. I don't. Oh, did he tell? He probably told us. 11 by 8. Okay. 11 by 8. There we go. Okay, so now we're just gonna build out the. We're just gonna build this out here. So we got a vertical container. Let's put 20 pixels of padding on the outside of it so we have a nice little border, a nice little breathing room. Very first thing we need to do is we need to drop text box up on top, and we're going to say this is medium. This is Workout Wednesday 2023, week 18. Combining custom and relative dates. Next is going to be a horizontal container because that's where all of our parameters are going to go. The next is going to be our KPIs. Oh, within that is going to be this guy. Next is going to be our KPIs. We're going to drop it right down. No, come on. There we go. Right there. And then below that is going to be our main chart. Right? Yep. Okay. So now what we need to do, one, we need to do this. We need to bump up the overall height of our parameter. Nope, that's way too big. Edit height, maybe 100. What that's look like. Okay, let's go in here. Oh yeah, that's what I need to do. So I need to go in here and I need to edit the axis to get everything to be right aligned. So let's do like -1, -1 to 10. There we go. And we're going to, I don't know, what's -0.5 look like? There we go. I like that. That looks good. Okay, so we got that. We're just aligning everything. We're just gonna align everything. That's kind of what we're doing there, right? So everything just kind of goes over that way. That looks good. Okay, now we need to edit that. Make this entire view. Increase the size of this to be, what's 75 look like? 75 looks good to me. I still think this is a little bit too high. So we had 100, let's 75 here. It's getting better. I think we'll bring down the size of the circles in the text in just a little bit, but not right now. Okay. And then so now what we need to do, we need to build in this is we need to build in the interactivity, right? We'll get rid of this. We'll edit this. We'll not make. Oh yeah. So now that we have dynamic titles, we have dynamic access titles. I forgot about that new custom thing. So now we have custom, and then you just make it whatever you want, or you can use a value, and we want the metric name. So we're going to put that right there, and you can see it updated to sales, which is really cool. And we're going to make sure that that works the rest of the way. Okay, now what we need to do is let's build in some interactivity. The first interactivity is we'll start from the top. We're going to build in parameter actions. We're going to choose, I need to cancel this and rename my sheets, right? Sheet 1, this is the this is the area chart. This is the trend chart. Trend. We need to go here, and that's, oh yeah, that's our date. That's our dates. And this is our KPIs. Okay. Cool. All right, so now we'll go to dashboard, we'll go to actions, we'll go to parameter actions. What are we changing here? On the dates, when we select a date field, we want to change what? We want to change which filter. The sheet that we want is the value. And we are going to input it. Yeah, the which filter is the parameter we're going to do, and we're going to input what into the which filter parameter? The value from that we have on here. Keep current value is good. We'll run it on select. This is the date selection action. That's and then we also want to make sure that we don't show the selection, right? We don't show the annoying box of confusion, right? So we're going to do a highlight action on select on the date sheet, and this is going to be no date highlight, right? On the date highlight, whenever we select it, what do we want to target? We want to target the same sheet, but we only want it to highlight on the highlight field. And because it's the same across, and because that value is the same across all of our different dimensions, so it's the same on 30 days, last in, and custom range, it's all the same. They all get highlighted at the same time. Let's watch. See? We don't have that custom, we don't have that weird thing where, you know, we don't have that blue dot, that blue box of confusion. So now we just need to do the same thing for the KPIs, right? So we're going to do this. We're going to do parameter action. We're going to do whenever we select the KPIs. My goodness, I did not get enough sleep last night. When I select a KPI, I want to target the metric parameter, and I want to fill it. I want to insert the measure name. No aggregation. Keep the value. We'll call this metric selection. And we want to highlight on that too, so let's add that. So let's add no metric highlight. When we select the KPI sheet, we want to target the KPI sheet, and we only want to show the highlight. We only want it to highlight based on highlight. Click OK. Let's make sure that's working. It's not. Did I add it? I added it. Okay. Actions. Okay. That looks right. Except for the fact that I don't have true. See, highlight is all true, so it should just be dashboard actions. When I select KPIs, the target parameter is metric. We insert the measure name. Oh yeah, I need to change that. My metric value. Or I just need to edit my table calculation, or my metric value. Order. There we go. Of course that changed. Metric color. So I need to update that. Oop. There we go. Okay. Still don't know why that's not working, because it should. I'll try another thing. So the other thing that you can do is call this false. And we call this false. And we add that to there. Now we go back to our dashboard, and now we're going to change up that no highlight action. We're going to remove the no metric highlight. We're going to add a filter action. It's going to do the exact same thing. It's going to be set up a little bit different. When I select the target, when I select the source, the KPI source sheet, I want it to target the actual worksheet of KPIs. And when the selection is cleared, show all values. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add this highlight as the target field, or the source field, and the target field is actually going to be the false field. Now, the actual value of the highlight field is true, and we're saying filter this sheet where true equals false. Where does true equal false? It doesn't, right? It never does. It will never, true will never equal false, right? So what happens whenever I click on this and I do a filter action? Nothing filters. Oh, I set it up as a menu action. So I need to go back in here. Cancel. This is actually on a select. There we go. There we go. See that? It's pretty cool. Okay. So I've got everything working. Now I just need to do a couple of other things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring, let's see, how do we want to do this? So this is where we kind of do some finagling here. So I think what I'm going to do a horizontal container under here, and I'm going to put some blanks in here. I'm going to first put this here. Oop. There. But we'll make this like really small. We'll make it like, well, let's see, what does 50 look like? No, that's too small. What does 100 look like? That's better. Okay. And then I can make this guy like, what's 300 look like there? There we go. Okay. So you can see here now, 30 days. What I want to do is I want to change this guy, and I'm going to use dynamic zone visibility. I want to control just this using the visibility. And so I select that container. I select this on my orders, and it's filter 2. right? And because it doesn't equal filter 2, then I don't get it. Then it doesn't show up, right? But once it does, there it is, right? And then custom range doesn't happen. But what we can do there is we can take our start, we can take our end date, and we'll also come down here and we'll grab our parameter, we'll grab our start date, flip those around a little bit, and we'll make these a little bit smaller too. Let's see what 75 looks like. That's a little bit too small. 75. Actually, what I could do, cancel this, put in another horizontal. Evenly space these, evenly distribute these, and put both start and end in there. And then I can just make this guy fit width of, okay, so it's about 3, it's about 400. So let's see what 250 looks like. That's looking pretty good. And we'll make this guy a little bit shorter. 300. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So then I'm also going to make this guy, this horizontal that I evenly distributed those two in, I'm going to put those in visibility 2, control visibility, but it's going to be on filter 3. So now when I go here, see, it doesn't, only those don't show up, right? So now what I need to do is what would be really great is if I could collapse this entire space. Anytime that this is selected, I want to collapse it. Not expand it. I want to collapse it, right? So we can do that. We just need to create an additional calculation. Duplicate, and we're going to say, oh yeah, I don't even need to do that because watch. Yeah, I do need to create another calculation. So it's either KPI 2 or which filter equals 3. And this is going to be filter, I'm just going to call it filter 1 for now. You can call it something else if you want. So now we go back here. I'm going to control this entire thing that contains the end days user input and the custom range user input with filter 1. It goes away, right? So everything collapses, right? So everything kind of collapses really nicely. So now whenever I do last n, boom, opens up in 60. Custom range, boom. Everything goes back up, right? So now I can just get rid of all this. Yep. But now that I've got this, I need to increase the size of this guy to 400. Nope, that was too much. That looks okay. No, I don't like it. So then we just get to, now we're just nitpicky, right? 350. That looks good. Custom date range. Yeah, we need to bump that up a little bit too. 375. Nope, 350. There we go. Perfect. I like it. And there we go. So, that's how you do it. Do some final formatting, and we're good to go. So, but that's how you combine your relative and custom dates. This is super powerful. Additionally, you could go in and you could make these dynamic you could make all these dynamic parameters and have it default to a set, a set time range every time you open, and then you give all these options to your end users. Life is great. Life is great. So, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed all that. And we will catch you later on down the trail. So as I mentioned, don't forget, I will not be doing this live stream next week because I'll be in Vegas at TC. And do check out the agenda. There are some pretty cool keynotes and events that will be live streamed on Salesforce Plus TV thing. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And so if you just Google for Tableau Conference 23, you can sign up for Salesforce Plus TV. Should be a good time. So if you are coming to Vegas, please come find me. Please come say hello. It's truly one of my favorite things is seeing everyone and meeting everyone from the community. So thank you so much. As always, we are data people. I am Hipster Viz Ninja. Go forth and viz.